only been here, dog. Help me. Hi, I'm IVATOPIA. Welcome to my video review of Prison Architect. This is a former early access game that I bought a very long time ago but refused to play since I felt the game not being fully feature complete I might just burn myself out on it. So I waited, and now it is officially out of early access and feature complete, so I decided to fire it up and have a go. The basic idea behind this game is you're running your own prison and has many different modes. Like the start, when you first turn the game on, it loads up campaign 1, what basically is a cool tutorial, but at the same time being very fun and story driven. This can be skipped by the escape key and you can load up different modes, but for now let's talk about this one, shall we? The start has our inmate about to be executed and you are tasked with building the room and connecting the power and other things later on in the game like water, etc. And the only thing I would fault it on is the lack of voice acting. Yes, you're going to have to read, but there is not too much, so it's fine. These stories allow you to do more free stuff as well if you don't want to only stick to what it tells you. But if you want to only do as it says, the game normally gives you a photo, or a Polaroid as it calls it. You have to click it to advance the story, so don't click the photo unless you want to advance, etc. This in turn gives us some nice drawn out cutscenes, etc. mixed in with the actual game's simplistic character designs. What I mean by drawn out is basically art and pictures, etc. There is 5 of these campaigns in the game by the look of it. I have currently got to number 3 before coming off to do this video, and they've been fun. It has taken me about 2-ish hours to get to this spot with me, reading all the story and skipping some optional tasks, as well as speeding the game up in parts. Yes, that's right, you can pause the game as well as play normal speed, plus a bit faster, and then finally even faster. So if I had to guess, I would say, looking at it, there were at least 6 hours of gameplay here for the story elements, but since I'm only in campaign 3, I might be wrong here. But the game still has plenty more to do after these 5 campaigns, so don't panic and think that it's all the game has, since that is just not true at all. I also like how the game seems to link some of the story elements. For one example, the inmate I spoke of in the first story arc has a link to the second arc, and then the third that links again. What is really nice, I will not say any more so I don't ruin it for people, but I will say I expect Arc 4 and 5 to be linked somehow too, but we will see when I get there. There seems to be collectible photos and diary entries in the game for all you completionists out there who want to look for everything. This game also has some Steam cards to collect too, by the way. Now let's take a look at some of the options now, shall we? As you can see, we can access the campaigns that you have unlocked here on the right, as well as the cutscenes. What there is currently 17 altogether. Then we can load a campaign game, or below that create a new prison. We will talk about this a bit more later. This is followed by loading and saving prisons. We then have extras, what takes us to names in the game. This is all the players who have got the name in the game DLC and have submitted a prisoner who is now in the game, as long as the devs approved of them, of course. From here you can see all 20,232 of them from when this video was recorded. Plus you can use the search bar at the bottom to find your own if you have done this, and click "This is me" when you have found yourself, since when the game puts you in jail you can now play as yourself. And yes, that is the character I submitted into the game, and yes, it was meant to be funny and linked to some of my likes. I will read it to you quickly. He needed money to get his book out, so he bet all his star citizenships on a wrestling match that he tried to fix, but the wrestling promoter didn't listen. In retaliation, he trained his hamster to attack for revenge, yet the hamster pouched and left. There was a limit on the characters I could actually put for this, unfortunately, so it wasn't 100% what I wanted, but it's close enough. My wife is also in the game, killing her teacher to prove a point. Okay, right here is the game Bibles and the photos I mentioned earlier, as well as access to the Steam Workshop to share your prison, followed by mods and what seemed to be a recording function in the game. I have yet to try this out properly. And then this is followed by the escape mode, plus the Steam Workshop version, so we can play other players' versions and we can load our own escape attempts at the bottom. We even have the option to pick how many attempts we have. Now onto the graphic options. We have loads of different resolutions here and some filtering, plus Windows mode, but after all this is a 2-day game, so not much else. The audio option is also very basic. We only have a few things here, for example master volume, while the game option has the autosave timer as well as different type of clocks from 24 hours to analog, even a 12-hour clock. Plus we also have the room checker box option here. The time-lapse options are next, to help with the recording settings. This is followed by the different languages in the game, officially supported as well, what looks like ones added by Steam users, what is very cool indeed. Finally, we have Open Save Folder, what gives you access outside the game to all your save data, including the video files you have recorded with the time-lapse feature. Then there's a few links, like to the Help Web Wiki for example, and their Twitter feed, as well as terms and conditions, all open up in your web browser. And last, the mighty, amazing, beautiful, awesome, I don't know what I'm saying now, anyway, exit button for turning the game off. Okay, so that finishes off the option menus. What other modes do we have? Most I would have mentioned above, thanks to the options. But anyway, let's still talk about them, shall we? We can actually play as an inmate trying to escape the prison, what is very, very cool. I yet to fully try this mode out, but it seems to revolve around gaining reputation and finding ways out, like tunneling, getting into fist fights, etc. And of course the game even has Get Your Inmate in the game tier, as I spoke about earlier. This allows your selected character for you to play as. We tried to break out in this mode. So as you can see, I'm controlling myself, what is so cool. Plus you can load this mode up at any time during any prison, since I actually tried it during the 3rd campaign and it kept trying to pull the camera upwards every time I answered the phone while trying to keep on my character. This in turn caused the camera to shake, what I assume could be sorted out with a later patch. But all in all, most will use this mode only when they want to, in their own prisons, not the campaign ones, plus in other players' prisons that they have uploaded to Steam's workshop. The game is single player, but being able to run or even escape from my wife's prison, or mates even, is a cool idea in itself. But what happens once you have completed the 5 campaigns and are bored, breaking out or running your friends or even other players' prisons? Well, that is simple. The meat of the game, the main reason to play, is creating a new prison from scratch that allows some customization options at the start, like having true sandbox with no end goal, or ways to make the game harder, like gang warfare for example. Since if you're playing the game properly, then your goal is to basically not get fired by looking after your inmates' needs like food and stopping deaths, just to name a few. You can do this either by keeping them happy or forcing them to not get into any trouble by having them on lockdown and in small cells with armed guards, etc. But the end result is to get the inmates back out into society and not re-offending. As you can see here, we have loads of things we can build, and you'll pick it up quite quickly if you do the early campaigns. Things we can build go from anything from kitchens to weapon areas for your guards. As you can see here, there is a lot of options. You are managing your money as well as you build more things, or as you hire more workers or guards, and the prison can make money too for producing things and shipping them off. But you've got to be careful, prisoners don't steal weapons or stuff, or try to smuggle contraband in, and of course, out as well. If your prisoners aren't locked down enough, or aren't happy enough, a prison riot can erupt. This is where you can lose control, and you can bring it back in control by bringing dogs in, or guys with guns. But remember, try not to kill too many, because obviously if this was the main game, that could be a game over for you for too many deaths, what would get you fired. There's even a nice research tree to unlock. Better things like, again, mentioned above, the dogs. Just to name one, I like the dogs. Speaking of the dogs, they can be used to sniff out escapees' attempts of tunnels, for example. So is the game worth the current price of $19.99, what is actually 33% discount of the normal price of $29.99, or your region's price version? This of course is for the normal version of the game, since we have also got the Name in the Game DLC. What for a bigger price also comes with it. This can also be added as an upgrade DLC later on if you wish. This of course is only worth it if you actually want your inmate to be added to the game. Plus there is also a more expensive packages, one that includes a soundtrack, or even one that includes some of their earlier games that this company has made. Well, for the price, if you like tycoon type games, then you can't really go wrong with this one. But if you're on the fence and feel it looks fun, but you're not into them type of games, then it's probably pick it up when it is on a bigger sale in the future. Though to me, if I had to rate the game out of 10, I would give it a 6.5, mainly because I like the game and I can see the hard work being put into the game, but personally, I'm not normally into tycoon type games. But saying that, I can see myself playing this quite a bit, but I feel there is better games out there. I personally would pick to play over this. If I was only allowed to say 10 games the rest of my life, etc., this one wouldn't be one of them. But since that is not the case, then yeah, I do recommend the game. After all, it is fun, and I see it being fun for quite some time. Even a game I might turn on every now and then to have a night on, but not a game I could see myself playing every day. But saying that, if you're into tycoon type games, as I said above, then you probably will. So this is IVATOPIA, and I hope you enjoyed my review and thoughts on the game, and I will leave you with more gameplay footage. So please enjoy, and bye! As you can see, this is my first go of trying to create my own prison. I completely messed up. You have to unlock that door, and I forgot to. So everyone stuck at the outside. I was like, at this point, wondering, why can't I get in? Why can't I get in? So I was trying to work out, there's a power. And basically you have to click on it and then click open. You can have it on automatic as well, because it's basically a locked door that guards that haven't hid at this point Except one, of course, but he's currently busy bringing the prisoners in, who basically use the keys to open it when they need to, and obviously all these guys are workers and haven't got the keys. Anyway, hope you enjoyed like once more, and see you again. Bye. What? You want me in the shower? Course. What are we gonna do in the shower? Come on, I'm in the shower. What do you want me for? Ah, tasing me! That was nasty.